Hello everyone, this is Mehran Fardis, immigration attorney based in San Diego, California. Our firm is called Care Law Group. We practice in the state of California and all across the nation, since immigration is a federal matter, and we can practice in any state as long as you have the license to practice in one state. We also have a lot of clients outside the US. We have many clients with employment and business visas outside the US, people who like to come into US. We help in a variety of matters, both business, employment, and family-based petitions. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that has been pretty hot and a lot of questions are coming to us these days. Whether should I file as a fiancé for the person I've been talking to, my better half, my partner outside the US, as a fiancé, or should I file as a CR1, a spousal petition for a spouse outside the US? Well, by definition, there's two different things. Fiancé is somebody you may know for some time. You're not sure if you want to be married. USCIS, the government gives you some time to basically spend with this person inside US 90 days to see if this is working for you. If yes, you can get married and then file for a green card inside US. Spousal petition is for somebody you know well. You know you're going to get married and maybe you have already been married. So that's where spousal petition comes from. And then the question is, which one is faster, which one is slower? The real question should be depending upon your circumstances. I mean, is this a person I want to marry? Then you go through the spousal petition. If this is somebody you don't know and maybe you want to explore options, then you go through the fiancé visa application. So the question is not which one is faster. The question is what works best for me as far as the relationship goes and as far as the person and our interactions. Let's focus on the differences these days. A fiancé visa is really a three-step process from zero to green card. Step one is you file the form I-29F inside US with supporting documents. I get a lot of calls these days. Hey, this is just a form. I can do it myself. Why do I need to talk to you? Why do I need an attorney? Fair question. First of all, everything in US starts with a form. Whether you file a $5 million lawsuit, whether you file a divorce proceeding, whether you file a criminal matter, the district attorney files a criminal matter, whatever you're trying to start, it always starts with a form. So yes, it starts with a form. But the question is, what do you check on the form? What do you put on the form? What do you not put on the form? What type of supporting documents do you put on the forms? How do you present it so that the officer opening your file has an easier time understanding what you're trying to say, can navigate through your documents, and approve your case? Ultimately, your goal is for the officer inside US, the USCIS officer who is reviewing your application, to approve it. That's what you want. How do you get to that point? You need to understand what the officer needs to see. What does the officer want? What does the officer need to examine in order to approve your application? And that goes with a lot of experience and expertise. And that's not because we're anything, we're attorneys, obviously. However, we have learned a lot throughout the process ourselves. We interact with USCIS officers. We interact with USCIS offices. We are part of ALA. We have meetings. We interact with other attorneys. There's a lot of back and forth. We have an understanding of what needs to happen and what the officers want to see. So that's obviously everybody's choice. If you want to file it yourself, you can. But when an attorney does it in a way that it doesn't get rejected, at least most of the time, and you get approved, then you get to the next step. So step one is to file the I-129F with supporting documents. That's the key. Supporting documents is the key. It's not just a form. It's a bunch of other stuff that goes with it. Once you file that, you wait. These days, it's about 5 to 7 months. Most cases are approved inside US 5 to 7 months. You get a letter from USCIS as approved. That's a good news. And then from that point on, in about 3 weeks after, you're going to get an email from NVC, the National Visa Center, giving you guidelines as to the next steps. That's the step two. Step two is, once you get the email, there's a link and there are a bunch of codes that you have to enter online into basically the State Department's website in order to be able to fill out the forms and load additional documents. The form that you need to fill out at the second stage is the DS-160. It's a multi-page form. It's important to know what you're processing there. If questions are not clear or tricky, ask us. Don't just put stuff there that's maybe not correct, because the officers that later may think you're misrepresenting yourself, which might not have been your intention, but it's always good to ask. You process the DS-160, you provide financial documents, you provide police clearance, you do your medical test, some other stuff they're asking for, and then you get ready for your interview. That's the step 2. Step 1 happens inside US. Step 2 happens outside US. At the consulate or embassy where your spouse, or where your fiancé is located. Your fiancé goes to the interview, they ask some questions. Once everything checks out, she gets approved, she gets a visa, she can come into US. She or he. We just happen to have a lot of female fiancés outside, but it can be either one. It can be male or female. The person, your fiancé, comes into US. Once they come into US, they have some time. They have 3 months. In those 3 months, you can spend some time with each other. Once you know this is the right person, okay, I made the right decision, we want to be married, you go to City Hall or wherever you like, you get married. Once you're officially married, then you can file now for a green card for your now spouse, former fiancé and now spouse, inside US. That's step 3. Step 1 is file I-129F inside US with supporting documents. Step 2 is process the NVC, National Visa Center, consular processing outside US to get a visa outside US. Fiancé comes into US, you get married, and then you file for adjustment of status inside US, which is a few more forms to be filed. And soon your spouse now has her green card and you can live and work inside US as a permanent resident. To keep it short, I just wanted to kind of outline some of the differences with the spousal visa. So procedurally, I'm not talking about substantive, I'm not talking about whether you should marry somebody or not marry somebody. Let's say you end up marrying somebody outside US. You want to bring that person inside US. That is a 2-step process. Fiancé visa, 3-step process, fairly shorter steps. Spousal visa is 2-step process, a little bit more work on each step. Step 1 is filing the 2 forms inside US for your spouse outside US, I-130, I-130A. Once you process those forms, you have to add supporting documents, which USCIS has a list of things that we need to provide. We provide everything together, we file. You can file online or you can file in mail. Recently, the fees have gone up, so if you file online, it's going to be $625. In mail, it's going to be $675. I personally always mail. Some people file online. It's really a matter of preferences. For us, mail has worked better. We mail it inside US, wait another 6 to 8 months. Once you're approved, then you go to the step 2. Again, you'll get another email from NVC, National Visa Center. There's going to be a link, some codes. This time a little more information is required for step 2 because now you're coming in as a spouse of a US citizen and you're going to get a green card when you come into US. So there's more questions involved. Instead of form DS-160, now you're filling out DS-260. A little more information needed on DS-260. Financial documents are needed, police certificate is needed, medical examinations is needed, copy of birth certificate. There's all kind of stuff that's needed that needs to be uploaded. Again, if you're not sure about these steps, contact our office. We help with these matters. These seem like they're simple forms, but they're very complicated because they each trigger a certain matter inside the mind of the officer, and you have to really answer the questions as they're asked. Not make stuff up, not guess exact answer. Once everything is done, your spouse will now get an interview at the embassy or consulate outside US to meet an officer. This is going to be your green card interview. Once everything is approved, you'll get a visa to come into US. Once you're inside US, you will receive your green card in mail inside US to the address you provided within usually a month. These are the main differences between K1 and a CR1, which is a fiancé visa versus spousal visa. It's situation based. You can't really ask, should I do this and that, which one is faster? It's not the question. The question is, what's your relationship? Are you in a position to, are you married? Then you can use obviously a spousal visa. If you're not married, you're not sure about the person, try the fiancé visa. There's obviously a lot of wrinkles in this process. Sometimes things get rejected. Sometimes USCIS doesn't accept certain documents. Sometimes they send a request for evidence. And all of that is hopefully eliminated or avoided if you do this properly up front. Nevertheless, if you're in that situation, contact our office. We're here to help. Hope this video was of help to you. We're going to be doing more videos about the same matters soon with a little more detail as to some of the specifics we need to be paying attention to as to each application. Have a great day from San Diego. Talk to you soon.